Hello, my name is Farnaz Irannejad Bisafar from Northeastern University. In this talk, I want to discuss our paper on supporting youth activists' strategic use of social media. Activism is defined as actions for social change with the goal of building inclusion and equity for marginalized groups. More specifically, youth activism can not only help improve public policies, but it can also affect the development process of youth positively. Recent social movements show the important role of social networking applications for collective action, with new forms of participation for youth in politics and activism. These practices that youth use for online activism range from investigation of various social issues and mobilization of action, and the approaches that youth take for these practices can range from casual to purposeful. But research shows that it is more common for youth to use social media casually, for example, by liking and sharing a post, which can be valuable, for example, by raising awareness about issues, but their impact can be limited. On the other hand, strategic practices of using social media involves using social media in goal-oriented and informed ways. For example, a strategic approach to circulating content online may involve identifying influential people that can connect youth to a broader network. So to complement casual practices of online activism, in our study, we tried to understand how network visualizations can help youth engage in online civic action more strategically by equipping them with knowledge about the social capital available to them in their network, which is basically the resources that people can access through their social connections. This is important because research shows that people usually have difficulty accurately remembering and accessing their online social capital. To explore this question, we studied youth activists at youth empowerment organizations, where youth engage in social action with the goal of creating positive social change at individual and community level. The youth organization that we partnered with empowers low-income youth between the age of 14 to 21 years old. The youth focus on various social issues, from developing trust between police and youth to mental health and racism. We interviewed 13 youth at the organization. During each interview, we asked youth to examine prototypes that visualize their hypothetical Twitter followers. This visualization prompted discussions around the information that youth needed to learn about their network connections to make informed outreach. The information that was visualized was about network characteristics of youth followers, for example, their age, how active they are on social media, and how many connections they have. Also, one of the visualizations showed the most frequent hashtags that were used by followers. And in this paper, we mainly report on how youth interpreted those hashtags. First, by seeing the hashtags, youth inferred information about the list of the followers that they were shown. For example, they inferred whether their followers were aware about social issues that they were interested in. Based on the knowledge they had inferred from the hashtags, they talked about making decisions about the people they wanted to reach out to, which fell into three categories: people who would be interested in the work of activism based on the hashtags they posted, people who would be interested but might have a different network, and that they could access that network through that person, and lastly, people who may not be aware about their work of activism and that they needed to reach out to bring awareness. And seeing these visualizations, youth also talked about how they could use the information that they had learned about their followers' hashtags to help them solicit both direct and indirect help. I would like to conclude this talk by some suggestions for future work. We suggest that future work should explore how learning about others' interests could help activists initiate interactions online, which in turn could help them to connect with others using their personal social media accounts by creating more personal rapport with those they want to engage with. Also, future work can study how supporting tools for online activism can impact how youth activists utilize the various types of social capital available to them. For example, our findings show that youth mostly reached out to their bonding capital, which could result in overlooking the value of their bridging capital that can connect youth to a larger and more heterogeneous network. So tools that can expose youth activists to various types of capitals within their networks and encourage them to reach out to individuals who can serve as bridges can help them reach out to a more diverse audience that they can benefit for their work.